Hey guys, Mike from Pattern Traders. I want to take a few minutes to talk to you guys about the kill zone indicator. So, what is kill zones? Kill zones are dates and times, or rather times, throughout the day that your asset will have most definitely the most volatility. So, the person who created kill zones is, I'm pretty sure you guys all heard of him. He is Trader ICT. He's a phenomenal trader. A lot of people bash him. I learned a lot from him when it comes to levels, OBs, breakers, and whatnot. Even though he's a very monotonous speaker on YouTube and whatnot, and he takes hours and hours of video footage just to explain a 15-minute topic. He's great, man. So he came up with a theory of kill zones, and so he thought of the idea that New York, London, and Asia move the market mostly during a specific time period. Now, we took whatever he did with the kill zones, which is public information. A simple Google search could tell you where the kill zones are and whatnot, like basically market opens and market closes, and then we came up with our preferred zones. So the preferred zones that you will see strictly only use it for crypto. And the reason why the preferred zones is because we took a lot of time to go back and back test certain times where BTC creates tops and bottoms for micro, right? So this is strictly a micro indicator. You're not going to use this for a 12 hour. You need to use a sub 30 minutes, right? It's a scalping tool. So during a specific market open of either Asia, London, or New York, you should expect that we're either going to go into punt longs or shorts, right? Strictly scalping perspective. Anyway, that being said, so what is it exactly? Asia, New York, and London open the market at a specific time every single day, as you guys know, and we expect price to either move up or down during that specific time period. New York, for example, opens up at 9:30 a.m., and we should expect that during New York Open, like for example, let's just take off the zones and talk strictly about the opens, right? And let's take all this. Oh, a lot of buys are coming in. Oh, nice. I wonder why. I think it's daily zone. There you go, daily zone. Wow, can't even make it out. Look at this. We're getting a pump on the daily zone. And then where's Asia? Let's see where Asia is. Let's open up Asia. Asia should be coming up. Yeah, actually right after. Asia should be coming up somewhere over here. Yeah, this shit should pump up. Alright, so it basically tells you that, hey, New York Open is over here, right? This red candle. This red background, New York Open, and we should expect volatility. So if you have your TMA bands, right, and I obviously not going to punt along here, but if you have a buy signal like over here, green zone with TMA, I'll go exhaustion. I'm going through this quickly. I'm not telling you to play like this, but this is how you would play, right? If you have your confluence, rather, right, we took liquidity and whatnot. Let me reset because the liquidity indicator got messed up. All right, so if you were to punt, we took liquidity, and you are at a New York Open over here. You punt New York. This one is a New York close. Sorry, you punch your longs, right? Everything looks good. Your signal is black. You did an over under. RSX is crossed up. Came from a bottom, right? Because you have your exhaustion is green, and you're in a kill zone. So kill zones work in the sense that if you have your confluence, liquidity taken, sell signal, exhaustion, TMA band is red, TMA band is green, then you'll feel safer in your position. So do I take kill zones blind? I don't take the positions blind. I don't enter and exit blind. I basically use it as confluence that, hey, New York is opening up, New York is approaching. Let's just talk about opens, right? And I want to talk strictly about, let's do London, New York, and so New York opens, right? So we have a New York close over here. Once New York closed, we pumped up. We have a New York open over here. Once New York opened up, we dumped, right? This is a London close. Once London closed, they didn't really do much. Asia is over here, pumped. London didn't really do much. New York dumped. Asia's here. London green. London bought us up. New York bought us up. When New York closed, then we got bought up, right? So the opens and closes are strictly made for market opens and market closes. basically the actual time that the market opens and closes. TV might be off a little bit by like 15-20 minutes because TV always gives us a hard time with the times, but for the most part they're very accurate. And then we have our zones. So my daily zone consists of a time period where we're going to get a lot of volatility during our daily candle close. Let's open the 30 minutes, see how beautiful this looks. Look at this, right? So top, bottom, top, look at this. You want to open up the oscillators to see where we are? Beautiful confluence too, right? Under, exhaustion, another dump, another pump, another pump. This one didn't really do much. Another dump, you could say a dump, but that got bought up quick. And then now we're in the midst of a pump right now, right? So the reason why we like daily is because during the daily candle we have a lot of volatility. You can, and this is strictly for scalps, for make a quick 2-3R, 1.5R, 1R. It's not a matter of I'm gonna play the 1 hour with this. You need to be sub 30 minutes because, in the 1 hour you're not gonna see New York. You see, you don't see red. You only see Asia and London. 30 minutes you see New York. New York is red. Asia is yellow. London is green. That being said, turn off the market open. Don't forget, market open is strictly for times that the market opens and closes. Daily zone is the crypto daily, a zone created around the daily candle, which usually pumps or dumps us, right? Then we have New York open, which is a zone for before we open up until we open up, which is basically traders are prepping up their options and whatnot. We have New York close, which is self-explanatory. London open, London close, and then we have Asia zone, which is pretty big. It's right after the daily. So when you combine the daily and the Asia together, you get a decent move, right? So how I play it, what I like doing, I like my preferred zones. I always use my preferred zones over the regular ones. We made them up based on what works for us, right? So we have our open close and New York open, New York close. I always play the New York, no matter what happens. I always play the New York. London, if I'm up, I play it. If I'm not, unfortunately, I miss it. London close, I play it. London open, it's 3 o'clock in the morning for me. So unfortunately, I'm usually sleeping at that time unless I'm trading really heavy and I'm watching the position. So my main go-to is New York open, New York close, London close, and then daily is a no-brainer, right? I don't usually have it on until I know that I'm approaching the daily candle. And Asia I don't really use because I'd rather use the daily. So this is what I do: daily, New York, London, and then my preferred zones. I like preferred zones better than regular zones, right? Now let's go into scalps. How do I scalp? Here we go. And let's do our New York open, let's do our New York close, and let's do our London close zones right here. So if I do happen to get a buy signal, let me open up my buys and sells. If I happen to get a buy signal or a sell signal in a zone, I think that it holds more merit, holds more weight than if you get a sell signal, buy signal in the middle of nowhere. The only reason why I say that is because you know that there's people behind the desk that will, or algos rather, that will move the price. So you're going to get volatility as long as you're on the right side. No one's telling you that you're on the right side if you're up here, but if you usually get a top signal and you are topped within the start of a kill zone, chances are it's correct, right? Especially if you take liquidity. So like if you get signals in here, chances are you're not. Look how small. I mean, it was a decent move, but look how small the move was, right? No, 1% is good enough. You can make good money with that if you're using decent leverage. Excuse me, sorry about that. So again, over here, right? Buy signal in New York. You have a buy signal in New York open. London continues. Then New York closes over here. And then we continue into a dump down, right? So same thing with you have a buy signal. Once New York hits, you're going to go up. London continues. New York is over here, and then we get our dump. So I use this strictly in the 30-minute and the 15-minute. I only look at New York and I look at London. And if you want to just avoid the zones, I use the zones. But if you want to avoid the zones, at least keep the market open and closes open in the background. So at least you get an idea. Asia is yellow, New York is red, and London is green. And then have the daily if you don't know when the daily closes, but the daily close is very significant. Like for example, right now, it's like 10 minutes the daily candle should close, and we already got a pump. So I'm assuming this is going to get sold off. London's not going to keep this open. By tonight, London's going to sell us off. Asia, London open. So right now, these are the only kill zones you want open, which is the daily, London, and Asia. Everything else is not even valid because London close is tomorrow morning, and then New York open and closes tomorrow morning. So you don't even need that. So if you're trading throughout the night, all you need is these three. London is green, the daily is purple, Asia is orange. And let's see what happens. Usually you're going to see something like this where you're going to get a pump on the daily and then Asia's going to sell us off. And then depending on what London does at nighttime when you open up will depict what New York's going to do in the morning. So it's a good way to understand behavior. Like if you have an over under like this over here and you're approaching kill zones with liquidity grabs, you know they're going to push the price down. Because if you get an over-under in the middle of nowhere, middle of the day with no volume, I mean, chances are the move's not going to be big, right? But if you get an over-under or a sell signal or a buy signal or liquidity grab, and you're you're about to approach a beautiful kill zone, volatility will step in, and you're going to get a bigger move. So you think about it as an indicator, indicating that volatility is around the corner, and if you know what side will pan out and you're on the right side, you will be rewarded. So again, 30-minute and sub, I don't use it for over 30 minutes. 1 hour is completely useless. You can't even see New York. And I mean, that's about it. If you have any other questions, let me know. DM me. I hope this makes sense. You could find, again, market open is strictly, and you could also change the colors. You could also close if you don't want the kill zones and you only want the market opens. If you don't want the open, you only want the close. You know, so orange for me is Asia, green is London, red is New York. It works very well with scalping, the sub 30-minute or the 30-minute, especially if you have your TMA bands on and you're looking at, oh shit, look, New York is about to open up and I'm at the bottom of my band. I'm exhausted. I have an over under, you know. Oh shit! Look, we're about to top out. We're at Asia open over here, and we're at the middle of the TMA band, which is resistance. I mean, it's self-explanatory, guys. You know, you can throw on your liquidity levels too to see exactly where we are with the liquidity levels. It's pretty much it, you know. New York pumped us. Asia, New York, Asia, London, New York. Let's see what happens. I'm pretty sure we're going to see a repeat that Asia might dump us again, unfortunately. And then we'll see what London does. We get something like this up here, though. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm not here to predict. Just curious to see what happens. So let's see what daily and Asia do. Cheers, guys. DM me if you have any other questions. I hope this video helped.